I think Zack Snyder is a really interesting case study in the argument against director's cuts.
Sometimes they're worse.
Sometimes
they're worse.
Because back in the day, if a director made a bad movie, they could be like, studio interference. You know, I had my hands were tied. My hands were tied. I had a good movie in my pocket, and I was making it.
It's literally like a foul in a game. It's like interference. Studio interference.
Flag. It was an easy way for them to just be like, you know what, that wasn't my. They took it. They took it. It was all them. But Zack Snyder is single-handedly trying to take the fight back and saying, no, I'm the reason the movie sucked. The studio had nothing to do with it, brother. It was all me. It was all me. It was all me. They didn't even watch it. They said upload that bitch.
I uploaded it personally to Netflix. They didn't watch it.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back.
We are back.
Back and more back than ever.
We're coming back to one of our classics, Zack Snyder. He's one of the people that we've been following on this channel for a couple of years now.
I think.
We've reviewed at least one of his films.
Yes.
Literally one.
One movie twice.
One movie twice.
So that basically counts as two. But today we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. I'm just going to say we're reviewing both.
They're the same.
It's the same movie.
It's one movie. Not in a good way like Kill Bill, where it's like, Kill Bill is really one story. It's like, this is one story that you stretched out for 4 hours.
Zack Snyder didn't cut the script down, and so he just cut it into two movies.
Like, Zack Snyder, you can make movies that are shorter than 4 hours. Actually, Kevin pointed this out, most directors find a way to make a story at a digestible,
even bad ones,
length.
Yeah. That's their job, typically.
Yeah.
When you're a director of a film.
This story, it can be wrapped up in an hour and a half. Sweet.
In the year 2010, the film Resident Evil Afterlife came out.
That was 2010.
And that movie was heavily trying to copy Zack Snyder's thing. It was a lot of slow-mo. It was a lot of Zack Snyder. The girl is wet and there's like water falling on her and she's swinging a sword. Badass woman doing stuff. It is very heavily Zack Snyder inspired.
Yeah.
In the last decade, Zack Snyder and Paul W.S. Anderson have become the same director. Hear me out.
They are.
So Paul W.S. Anderson, he's not changed at all.
Why would he change?
He's been making the same like level of schlock, but he's always been like kind of stealing things from other, like who's popular right now. Whereas Zack Snyder was able to give off the air of being original. Zack Snyder is now just copying everything else. I watched this movie tonight and I was thinking about how much it feels like he wanted to make his own Dune. There are even shots where like we were kind of joking about
like
it.
He just watched Dune. He's like,
just feels like
other Dune stuff.
Well, and there's a sound effect, like there's a sound bit where it's literally like he ripped it straight from Dune.
And then cuts to a flowing shot of like tattered garbs in the desert.
Back in 2010, Zack Snyder was way ahead of Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah.
They're now on the same
Now they're
plane.
in the trenches together, dude.
Making the same level of schlock, copying from people more talented than they are.
It's Seven Samurai with Star Wars with references to everything else that you like.
Yes.
Like there's like a whole sequence that's like Gladiator. They're like brushing their hands through the wheat and everything. It's like, oh, that feels like Gladiator, except in Gladiator it has different meaning, and this is just you're farming wheat for way too long.
But we don't need you, Zack Snyder, to be the herald of the director's cuts.
No.
To save cinema for us.
Know that by saying, Snyder sucks,
Yeah.
you're also saying, you know what? Give me some more focus groups.
Give me the down the middle, vanilla.
Give me some more. I want Happy Meals. I don't want, that's all I'm saying. Every tick in that direction is a tick away from
A vision,
creative voice,
someone's
just
actual-
doing something crazy.
So many directors fight just to like get, what are you doing to me, dude?
I'm making sure.
I'm ramping up right now.
I'm making sure you're on the line.
Right when I'm talking, you're gonna
Well, because I wasn't talking, dude. What am I gonna do while I am talking?
right when I'm talking, I'm ramping up, dude. I'm ramping up. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so many directors, you hear so many stories where it's like, oh, they get screwed over by the studio system in some way. Their vision is trampled upon. Like P.T. Anderson with
it happened with
Hard
Zack
Eight.
Snyder.
It happened with Zack Schneider.
Happens
and
every year.
He's like fighting for that right in this one, where Netflix literally gave him a director's
blank check.
cut twice. They're like, you're gonna make a two-parter where you have full reign for the two-parter, and you're gonna get another cut of the movie after it later.
Black and white.
Black and
R-rated.
white, R-rated.
So today we're talking about Rebel Moon. The title probably says Rebel Moon Part 2 because that's the movie that came out this week.
Yeah, Rebel Moon Part 2.
Well, that's why we're doing this.
We're doing both because we watched both and it's one singular movie. Sam Slade is gracing us with his presence here tonight, despite the fact that he is being cuckolded to be here. His girlfriend is currently with another man too.
Yeah, Keegan was supposed to come tonight to do this review, and he's hanging out with my girlfriend instead.
Keegan was like, "Oh, so you won't be home?"
Yeah, he's like, "You won't be home? Oh, cool. Good job,
Yeah,
guys.
cool.
Watch the Rebel Moon movie.
That's
That's cool. Everyone likes that.
Yeah, everyone's talking
You
about
earned those
that.
200 views.
So Sam Slade giving up the purity of his relationship to be here for sure.
It's an easy choice.
I have not loved a single Zack Snyder film. Not one. On Zack Snyder's
Kevin
Justice League when he
was
dropped
a
that.
Sucker Punch defender in high school.
I totally forgot about Sucker Punch. I never watched it.
That
People
actually
loved Sucker Punch, dude.
I
Not
saw
anymore,
Sucker
dude. Now
Punch.
it's like everyone's least favorite Zack Snyder movie.
Isn't it like his only original thing?
Yeah.
Besides Rebel Moon.
Besides
yeah.
Rebel Moon, yeah. Original.
We're gonna say original.
Original.
Original
It's
in-
original science fiction, dude. I don't know who you think that Zack Snyder would have copied for this completely original film.
Other than everyone.
I don't think there's a single original thing in this movie.
There are likable things in many of his movies. I think most of them are accidents. I think it's things that just happen in the magic of filmmaking.
Or he's copying
yeah, or
someone's
he's
homework
copying-
so much
yeah,
that
so-
it ends up being good.
You say, oh man, isn't it so cool how like Watchmen like subverts superhero tropes? It's like, yeah, no, because it's based
That's
on a book
what
that
happens
did it
in
really
the book
well.
Watchmen, yeah.
So he copied it, and when he adapted it, and so so obviously a few good things are gonna happen if he keeps the dialogue mostly the same. I think even the things that he has the most credit for, people say, oh, well, 300's really good. Or, you know, did you see that Dawn of the Dead remake? That Dawn of the Dead remake's badass. Remember when they cut the zombies in half? That part's cool. Those are all other things that he took and did his own thing with them. Going into Rebel Moon, I was like, well, he has complete creative freedom, which, no, it's not the first time he had complete creative freedom. No. So I went into Rebel Moon having full knowledge, and out of the three of us, I was the only one that saw his previous movie before that, which was Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead, which was also original.
Which was original, yeah.
I couldn't bring
That was
myself to
Zack
watch
Snyder.
that one, dude.
Honestly, I think it's worse than Rebel Moon.
Oh my god. But Dave Bautista's in it.
I knew it was going to be bad, and I knew the people would hate it and come crawling back. Because they already were starting to do that with Army of the Dead, and he had just come out with Zack Snyder's Justice League like that year, literally earlier that year, and they were already starting to turn on him a little bit. I was like, watch, they'll see Rebel Moon, it's gonna be trash, and then they're gonna be like, oh, there it is, it's trash.
Uncle Mickey was right. All those dislikes are wrong. I take them back.
They'll come crawling back, and here you all are watching this video.
My thoughts going in are kind of complicated because like I don't remember the first movie.
You were drunk, and it is forgettable.
Almost all of our obligatory movies that we go into, my thoughts going in are just, hey Kevin, what am I watching and why? And then Kevin explains it to me. So pretty much my thoughts going in were Kevin's thoughts that he dumped on me.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap about Zack Snyder. I don't think he's a bad director. I think he's just kind of dumb and makes poor decisions.
Yeah.
I think that there's things he does fine, and he's obviously garnered some sort of
fans,
success and
for
has
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People resonate. I think just because of the IPs that he is on top of, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, so badass.
He
when
makes
Batman
things
throws the box at the guy.
yeah.
He made the,
I mean, you can't deny that when Superman
this
does a
isn't your
badass.
grandma's Batman. He kills people. So yeah, going into this, I knew it was going to be terrible. I didn't know that it was going to be a complete ripoff. Because honestly, going into it, the story behind it was like, dude, Zack Snyder had this great idea for Star Wars, and it was rejected. And it's like, wow,
He brought this to George Lucas before he even sold it to Disney, and George Lucas was like, "That's too hardcore for
too
Star
hot
Wars."
for Star Wars.
It's too hot.
So we had to
dude.
bring it to Netflix.
So he had to go to Netflix. Things like, Netflix, make my Star Wars.
So that way you can get the PG-13 cut.
And in my head, I was like, okay, so it's going to be kind of Star Wars-esque.
So it's an idea too bad for George Lucas.
Yeah, too bad for George Lucas. And yeah, a lot of people took that and was like, that's so cool. It's going to be like hardcore Star Wars. But in my head, I was like, it probably just sucked. Like the idea probably just sucked. The idea does suck because he just took the most popular Akira Kurosawa movie and made it Star Wars.
Also, the most adapted. Like the one that has the most amount of popular adaptations.
In a video that hasn't come out yet. It is, Bugs Life did this.
Yes.
So you're not special for making it now in space, I
Well,
guarantee.
you said it before we started recording. This movie says less with less depth in more time.
Like, it is somehow longer than Seven Samurai, but says less. It
Yes.
has less depth.
It's about 30-40 minutes longer together than
like
Seven
an hour.
Samurai.
Well, it's full of
it
slow
feels
motion shots.
infinitely longer.
Yeah.
So many slow motion shots of them harvesting wheat
yeah, a
Yeah.
whole section of wheat harvesting.
in slow motion.
Zack Snyder, he gets a lot of flack on the internet. You know, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I've reached the point where I was
It's
watching.
definitely affecting him, dude.
I kind of feel bad picking on Zack Snyder at this point. Like it's kind of like picking on that one kid at school. You know, he's an easy target because he's drooling all the time and he's just like smashing bugs during recess. And you're just like, you could make fun of him, sure. He's an easy target, sure.
It sounds like you're making fun of him way worse than not making fun of him right now.
Is it fulfilling to make fun of a man like that? You know,
Let
do
him
I
finish.
get?
Let him finish.
Do I get the satisfaction of making fun of someone that doesn't eat bugs? And the answer is well, a little bit.
A lot
yeah.
of people eat bugs.
Yeah, a
dude.
lot of people eat bugs.
A lot of people eat
With these recent movies that he's made, bad in ways that his previous movies weren't. He's a good visual, like, image creator. Like,
Yeah.
he can make striking images. His movies have style.
Like, wow,
to
this
them.
shot's saying so much without actually saying anything.
Yeah,
Like, it's like
I don't even
visually
know if it
telling
would-
you something.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even know if I would describe it as that. It's more that they're just visually striking.
Interesting to look at.
But in this movie, it doesn't even have that going for it. This
no,
movie,
it's impossible to pay attention
movie
to because
looks
it
like
is-
ass.
it looks like crap, and everything is crap on screen and in the dialogue, everything.
So that was my thought, is I kind of feel a little bad, but not that bad, because we're still making this video.
There's a reason why I keep coming back to the making fun of Zack Snyder well and attacking Zack Snyder well. And that is that he still has legions of devoted fans who think he has not made a single bad film.
Today?
Today.
Right now?
Right now?
Admittedly, they're shaky on Rebel Moon. Almost all of them
Yeah,
are.
no, I-
This is the first time it's actually started turning. Army of the Dead still got voted most popular movie at the Oscars. They had enough people to do
But
that.
that was the same year the Snyder Cut came out. He was at the height of his
Yeah,
power.
they were
dude.
trying to.
There
they were
are
boosting
people
the Snyder Cut, dude.
that have the Snyder Cut of Justice League in their top 10 of movies from 2021. The fact that there are people that just blindly love so much of his stuff genuinely upsets me. It's like if Christopher Nolan was bad. He has all these opportunities to learn from his craft and get better with time and evolve his thing, and he has actually gotten worse with time.
Let's put the throttle into first gear, dude. What's the fastest gear? I've never driven a stick shift. Is it like first? That's
Last gear,
the
dude.
number
Millionth
one
gear.
for fastest.
the millionth gear, dude.
We're going into million gear, dude.
Yeah, this
I-
isn't your grandma's Seven Samurai.
This isn't your. Rebel Moon is the story of Seven Samurai. I was gonna do a plot synopsis, but then as I was
if you've
thinking
seen
of what
Seven
it would-
Samurai or #Mag7,
it's the same plot.
it's the, yeah.
If you've seen Bug's Life, you've actually already
Sophia
seen most of the
Boutella,
movie.
she plays the main character. She plays the Korra.
she plays
Legend of
Rebel
Korra.
Moon, yeah.
She is the bodyguard of the little queen.
who apparently was the Child of Fire.
And she has a dark past. is
Everyone has a
now-
dark past.
Everyone has a dark past. Well, we don't learn that till the second movie.
You're all here because I want you to know who the hell you're fighting with. Everyone must share the truth. I'll go first.
That might be the worst scene in all of cinematic history.
That is the single best scene.
I
in the
cannot
movie, dude. What are
believe
you
they all
talking
sat down in a barn and the guy literally said, "We cannot fight together until we know each other's dark past."
He literally sits down. Everyone is like getting ready for bed. This is the scene. It's right before the big battle is gonna happen. And Titus sits everyone down. He's like, no, wait.
We can't fight next to each other unless we know each other's dark past. And then they all discuss their dark past.
I was ordered to open fire on the Capitol.
Black as night, burnt like toast. My past is as dark as the blackest dark roast. My fucking village died.
I had a life before.
My fucking children died. Slavery killed the princess. You have a dark past. He has a dark past. She has a dark past. Everyone cries when I tell them about my dark past.
And they go down the line.
Down the line.
They go down
And
the
this
list
is
and like,
after-
what's your backstory?
Sophia Boutella, 5 minutes before this, had a dark past flashback.
Yep.
She was banging the
We
dude from
literally
Game of
already know.
Thrones.
Yes.
And
And
he-
she's like, "I've got a dark past.
I've got a dark past, and he's like, dude, that's so fucking hot that you have a dark past.
Oh, your dark past. I now understand your character more."
And then we have this scene of them all sitting around a table sharing each other's dark past.
we were all cracking
It was so
up.
funny because
It's so funny.
It keeps cutting back to Titus's
Titus,
face,
and
he's sobbing.
It is like the
Every
perfect,
story.
It is like we were joking about. It's the perfect comedy setup. Where
It's the perfect-
it is
yeah.
already a flying circus bit, like we discussed, where it's just them going around the room talking about how bad their
How
childhood
bad the
was.
childhoods were.
I had a life before, long before.
The Imperium troops slaughtered everything and everyone.
Luxury. We used to get up at 3, clean the lake, eat a handful of hot gravel, then we'd work in mill for 20 hours for twopence a month, then we'd come home and Dad would beat us about the head and neck with a broken bottle. If we were lucky. Paradise.
It's such a perfect comedy setup that it's just missing a punchline. You almost feel like the scene is coming to a point where he's like, Sophia Boutella, now you share your dark past. And she doesn't want to, she's holding back. And you're like,
The
it
irony
feels
is
like
that the
there's-
audience already knows.
Yeah.
So it's like, this feels
Those
pointless.
scenes should have been rearranged. She should have had her dark past flashback after
Do
that.
the same thing, just put it later.
Maybe they just banged and he's like, why didn't you share your dark past?
Why did you share your dark past
And then,
before?
then
It's just
she
too
could
dark.
say, I'm ashamed, this is why. It's because I killed the Empress.
That's something.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I
Giving
know you
exposition naturally too, because if she withholds it, he would be curious. Why didn't you share that?
Also, when the audience doesn't know, the audience wants to know. It's like, oh, why? Out of hearing all
just
those
heard-
bad stories, why does she still
we just
feel
heard
bad?
8 in a row or whatever.
And then they're like, why aren't we hearing hers? That causes a bit of mystery, a little intrigue.
And the framing's
You know?
the same thing for each dark past. It is literally, so anyways, at my home planet, cuts to slow-mo footage of soldiers.
The Empire came in and killed everyone in my village. And then
They forced me to kill. It's either they forced me to kill someone, I refused to do something they wanted, or they came and killed my village.
Sometimes it's all of those.
Sometimes it's all of those.
Yeah.
Usually, actually, it's all.
We're way ahead of ourselves right now. So Sam Slade, what did you think of Rebel Moon?
I hated it. I think I disliked the first one more. Kind of like how with Dune Part 1, I'm like, this is an incomplete story, except it's somehow infinitely worse of a concept with an incomplete story.
I'm glad you brought up the Dune comparison.
Yeah, well, because it's a Part 1, and instead of it being, like Kevin brought this up earlier, like, okay, well, this is just so much story that we have to break it up into 2. It's more like, this is plenty of story for 1 movie, and then now we're going to stretch it into 2.
Stretched
And
it.
it's already proven because you've seen so many movies do this story in 1 movie.
Yes.
Because we were all sitting there, we were all drinking, watching the first one, and at some point we were like, oh, this is just 7 Samurai, and they're also, it's ending at the rising action of 7 Samurai.
He shoehorns in an end point for the movie. Like he splits
Yes.
it and he's like, oh, well, we have to kill the bad guy in this part of the movie before the climax happens.
It's like adapting the first hour of 7 Samurai.
and then also killing the bad guy.
And then bringing him
Not
back.
really. And then-
Why did she, like, I hate that they brought the bad guy back, because she killed the bad guy on her own
And she
in the
kills
first
him,
one.
and she kills
it
him
is-
as easily the second time.
It is basic, like, if you're gonna have a villain and you want them to continue across several movies, seasons, whatever, if you're going to have the bad guy and the good guy fight each other, they can't have the good guy win one-on-one in the first installment. You just can't do it.
Or if they do, there has to be some sort of elevation of stakes.
Avatar 2 does that great, because the bad guy comes back and like, oh, they brought the same bad guy back, but now he's an Avatar. He has a son now, which is like totally different. He now knows a lot more about the Na'vi. He can infiltrate them a lot better, and so he's in the climax, he's the one you're afraid is going to kill yet another kid of his.
Yeah.
You're like, he might kill another kid. He might be capable of that.
The way they do it in Rebel Moon, it's like Team Rocket from Pokemon.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, they're gonna beat them every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you watched the main character beat the main bad guy in the first one with
Fair and
no
square.
caveats, fair and swear.
And then they're just back.
I literally thought he was going to be in a robot body or something.
I thought they had to. I thought, like, they're opening up, he's like coming out, he's got tubes on him. He's
got tubes.
He's like, now I'm metal.
Yeah.
Why'd they have that shot of him getting the water?
It was
so
to show
long?
that he was getting water because he was an alcoholic, but he was pretending to be an alcoholic.
My favorite part about that shot, it's such a waste of time. He's slowly, in slow motion, getting water out of the well. It's all dramatic. And then it has to continue and watch him drink it too. And it's like, do we need all of this information just to let us know that he's thirsty?
Yeah.
Like, do we need to spend that much time
Well, it was
on this to let us know that he's thirsty?
People have joked for over a decade at this point that if you cut all the slow motion out of his movies, they'd be 30 minutes long. But this movie felt like he was almost laughing at us for it. Like he was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
was
yeah, well, I'm just gonna do a slow motion sequence with a farm. Yeah, we.
And then they're gonna make they're gonna pour the grain into
They show them
buckets
making
and-
it into flour. Yeah.
The scene of them farming and processing the wheat is literally longer than the scene of them training and preparing to fight. Zack Snyder takes so much time and just wastes it on these things that honestly you have to like really read into to really understand. Like the fact that Keegan was not there is a huge detriment to us. Because we were sitting there, we were like, wait, hold on, was that?
I wanted to bring this up.
Was that
like,
a good soldier, bad guy? No, did he have an arc or was he good the whole time? Oh my god, I forgot.
Our master of plot was not there, so this review probably feels even more
Disjointed, and
because
we
I
have no
literally have,
idea.
I don't know what really happened.
I remember just as much of the movie as if I had not watched it.
Yeah. Yes.
My head is actively burning the files on this movie right now.
Well, honestly,
like I'm forgetting scene by scene constantly.
If I hadn't seen Seven Samurai and already knew what this movie was,
Yeah.
it would have been harder to follow.
If I had not seen Seven Samurai,
Bug's Life.
Hashtag Mag
Mag
7,
yeah.
or The Magnificent Seven, then I might think, wow, what an original film. I wonder where this is going.
And you eat poop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were that person, I would beat you up.
Not even Bug's Life. You didn't watch Bug's Life once as a kid?
It's a classic.
Shoves the VHS in there.
So Kevin, did you like it?
All of those.
No, I thought that movie sucked. I thought both of them sucked. Well, I will agree with Sam saying Part 2 is marginally better.
I think it's cool that part 2 literally ends with like a 45-minute action sequence.
Oh yeah.
Like the ending, and it's like we're not gonna just give you a 15-minute fight.
It's a whole
like
thing.
the third act is all just the
Also, when Part 1 ended, I was like, man, I don't want to watch the next one. When this one ended, I was like, I don't want to watch the next one. But if this was the end of the first movie, I'd be a little more interested seeing where it goes
I could
from
agree
here.
with that.
When it's going
If it was one
past
movie?
seven, yeah, if it was one movie, I'd be
Yeah.
like, well, that was whatever. But once we get out of the Seven Samurai thing, maybe it'll be good.
That's the worst part about these two movies is that like it's so clear that they should have been one movie and that they were probably written as one movie and filmed as one movie. It's kind of the same feeling like you were saying that I had after Dune 1 where it's like, where's the ending? But this movie, it's like, where is the reason this needed to be two movies?
Yeah.
This should have been
Probably be
one
fine.
2-hour and 3-minute long movie.
yeah.
So I did not like it. I thought that it was not good.
Is there any stupid scenes we're forgetting from these?
Yeah,
movies?
probably. So there's the part where the guy fell. That was funny.
Oh, show that! Yeah,
Just show that- just show that clip.
Yeah, just show that.
Dying of
The
laughter.
guy, Ed Screen kills
Beardo.
yeah. Bearded man, I don't know his name, don't give a fuck.
Unnamed bearded man.
And he rolls off the ship.
Well,
Very
no, so
dramatic, slow
just to set up, because unnamed bearded man, and he may have been named. I don't agree.
Jury's out. Jury's out.
don't agree.
Out of nowhere, he becomes the protagonist of the film for 5 minutes because
for
he
just that
decides
long.
He's about to die.
He decides that he's going to 1v1 the main villain, and he jumps onto his
ship
pelican
when
as
it's
it's
taking
flying
off,
away.
yeah.
And they have a crappy, horribly choreographed fight.
Yeah, normally, I'm advising against this, but when you have bad choreography, more cuts.
Hide that with cuts.
Yeah, it was a badly choreographed fight that was just like filmed like it was a security camera shot, like it was just kind of like high above them. And it's like,
Like, why are you letting him hit you so
when
much?
you're John Wick, you can pull that off because your stunts and choreography are amazing. But when you're Zack Snyder, don't do that. Cut, like more cuts. Obviously, he loses the fight. The bad guy kills him. He slits his throat. And then he pushes him off the pelican.
And the camera follows. As
Very
he
slow motion still.
Very slow motion.
And
And,
you
you,
know-
you can't tell how far the ground is.
Well, he's in a spaceship and it's flying up. It's been
Yeah, dude,
flying
it's-
up for a
it's
while.
high up.
It's high
High
up.
up, dude.
But it's a PG-13 movie, so you might be expecting he gets pushed off. Like maybe it cuts away right before he hits the
Yeah,
ground.
or he falls into the clouds.
He
and
falls
then
into the clouds.
just-
It follows him to the ground, and you watch him hit the ground. But there's no blood. There's
like instantly like becomes like in the last frame of him dying, it stops being slow motion. And he just goes, bleh.
is that Zack Snyder, when writing a scene, you got characters.
Sit him down. In
You
the
sit
bar.
them down. Well, what do they talk about? And Zack Snyder, he has a handy list of questions. And these are the only things that his characters know how to talk about. It is, who am I?
You remember how I told you I was raised by Belisarius? Region of the Imperium.
What am I?
You know that I'm Arthurlaeus, adopted daughter of the regent Belisarius, and the assassin of the Princess Issa.
Where am I?
Where am I?
You're aboard your ship, sir.
And what am I doing?
We need every man and woman who's able. The brain is our most powerful weapon.
And that's it. You can literally boil down every single scene in this movie, and all the dialogue is one of those 4 questions.
Oh, and we say, who am I? We mean the name.
I know your name, yes.
Of the character.
Yeah, not who am I like interpersonal.
Like the
Who
actual
am I is
character.
every movie.
The 5th one is what has happened to me.
Yeah, it's like an extension.
Yeah, an extension of...
That files under what am I.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
am I? There you go, there you go.
Yeah. There was also a really weird cut. This is getting nitpicky at this point, but
Yeah.
there's a really weird cut in the climax that we were complaining about.
Yeah!
Because they're in the barn where the sword girl is fighting, and
There's
it
a-
ends on a close-up shot of one of the kids
Looking
And
at something.
and then it like almost match cuts to the exact same framing of the villain. And the way it's cut, like your brain is like not thinking
How did he
about
get there?
space. And you're just like, wait, the bad guy's in the barn now?
Like
and
he's
then
walking in?
He's walking in, but like the last time you saw him, you just pushed someone off of a spaceship. So it's like, how is he in the barn? There's a weird cut, weird transition.
They're saying it was a pretty weird Snyder cut.
Well, yeah, Zack Snyder would probably argue that we just watch movies bad. You guys got it in the next shot, all right? Stop complaining.
Yeah, also, you didn't know they were in a spaceship after it cut again and you saw the fucking
For 10
spaceship.
seconds.
Just watch the
okay.
movie a little bit longer, please.
In all those movies that you're ripping off, I never had that question when I was watching any
That's
of those
true,
movies.
never.
We'll complain about bad editing in reviews, but rarely when we're watching a movie will we be like, wait, that was a bad cut. I'm confused
That was a
at
weird
what's
cut.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, rarely are we like, wait, how do you, oh, that's not what's happening?
Yeah. Like it was
From an
actually
editing choice.
confusing. Yes. That means it's really bad. If we're actually sitting there being like, what the fuck is happening? I did want to talk about the cinematography. Go
for it.
Zack Snyder.
Fire off, dude.
Dude, so Zack Snyder, he's actually kind of adorable. He had this featurette when Army of the Dead came out where he was talking about the cameras and the lenses that he used. Obviously, he's been around cameras, he's been around cinematographers.
I hope so.
And he bought his own set. I want to say it was a vintage set of Canon. I don't remember if he had rehoused photo lenses or he had bought an old set of Canon cinema lenses that he had rehoused. That's not a bad thing because every movie you've ever seen before that was shot before the year 1990 was shot on vintage lenses because that's just that back in 1977, a lens made in 1977 was just a lens. The problem is how he uses it. He's very passionate about all of this and he clearly like has the spark. It's just every single shot he gets has the aperture all the way open and you can't see anything.
It is infuriating. Like literally, like people's noses are out of focus.
Yes.
Their eyes will be in focus and their nose will be out of focus.
But it's like,
Every
if
movie's gonna
even
have
your
that.
wide shots are fucking out of focus in like 90% of the frame,
And
then
like
you're doing something wrong.
Something in the first movie that was like I feel like less in this one, but in the first one we kept being like, dude, like that entire shot was out of focus.
Yes.
I think he's having trouble catching focus with such a
Yes.
small window.
I want to shoot the movie myself. And so I just don't think it's fair for me to impose that kind of restriction on a DP where they would literally be stuck with my crazy lens choice that, probably end up getting them fired by the studio. So I thought I would take the rap if anyone was going to take it.
So the flares are also out of fucking control. Every single light source is flare, and it looks just like muddy.
It's blasting through the actors.
There is something to be said about having the desire to want to do something new. You're a director, you've been working in Hollywood for decades, you know how the sausage is made, you've worked with cinematographers. I get the idea of like being like, oh, I feel like I can do that and wanting to try something new. I feel like we gave the same advice throughout the movie maker. Like, don't do both. If you want to be a cinematographer, practice that, maybe make some short films. The one thing Zack Snyder always had going for him is that his movies had good images, and it's like he's not even doing that anymore. So it's like, what is there to even, what is there to get out of this?
I can't think of a single striking shot in the movie because I think all the striking shots are just, we made it slow. We just made everything slow on the screen.
The obvious answer is slow motion is awesome.
There are certain directors that can get away with doing like basically everything. There are way more that can't.
Also, just shouldn't.
No.
Why not just, it's filmmaking like everyone has always said, it's a collaborative
medium. Yeah.
The ending is way worse than Seven Samurai because it's like, okay, so you know how we did, like we like literally wasted all this time and made Seven Samurai 4.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And now we're just not going to stick the landing. Instead, we'll set up the next movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed when that happened. I was like, at least if you are just ripping off this movie, have the ending.
Yeah.
And have it mean something.
Yeah.
Or like Seven Samurai, like almost all the samurai die. Spoilers for a movie that came out in the 60s.
You should see it.
Fifties.
You know, if
50s.
you're watching this review.
They kind of realize how much they gave for this town. Like that was kind of the point of it, is like
Yeah.
the importance of life.
They gave everything.
They gave everything and got almost nothing in return.
Was the violence worth it?
It's like, oh, well, that is what being a hero is.
This is the hill we died on.
This is the hill we died on because it was the right thing to do. And
Yeah.
those 4 people died, and now we're just the 3 samurai or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
This, they're like, as the characters are burning in the background because they died, they're just like, anyways, next time on Rebel Moon.
We have to go fight something more important than this.
And they're like, who died? I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
You're like, oh no, Sword Girl died. I was like, did she? I forgot.
I'm not even joking. I half expected her to just be fucking alive.
I thought she was going to just...
Well, yeah, because I saw characters in the first movie that died and then are just back.
The final nail in the coffin was like, Zack Snyder just ripped off Seven Samurai this entire time and then didn't even like stick the end. He was like, well, people like Seven Samurai because it's about a bunch of freaking badass samurai that kill people. It's like, no, you took... If you weren't going to establish any of the depth of it, I guess there never was going to be a good ending then.
Additionally, like, you know, he's setting up the sequel for this, like, princess that's still alive. I don't really give a shit if this princess is alive. Like, I don't have a reason to want her to, like, come to power.
She was in 2 scenes across both movies.
Is that I'm like, well, yeah, now you finally got an ending, and now you're kind of trying to unravel the ending.
Yeah.
Where it's like, actually, we're just getting started.
And also, my dark past isn't that dark, actually. Like, that whole thing where I killed someone, like, she's fine.
It seems like Space Eggs.
You like Kevin more than me?
I'm gonna give this one a 00.
Wow.
00.
That's fair. That's balanced and fair.
00.
I hate Zack Snyder. Yeah. These are 2 of his worst movies. In a lineup of not good movies, I'm gonna have to give the first movie an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
The second one is an improvement, so because of that, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
That's also fair. A little bit of something for everybody.
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
a little something for everybody,
yeah,
all the
something for
poop eaters out there.
I really didn't like this movie. I don't even think I hated it though. Like, we've been shitting on it.
If you had to watch this movie alone, you hate it.
That's true. I'm not passionately, I like, fuck this movie. You know, it's just kind of like, it was a waste of time and that sucks. But, you know, it's a Zack Snyder movie.
Space Eggs, dude.
Wow. Eggs, you know.
For both movies.
Really, really big. Like, it's a lot of weight putting these eggs on. You know, it's like the weight that you would feel if you were in a spaceship that was falling to Earth. You know, like if you were in a spaceship that was falling and you were also falling inside of it, you know, you'd feel a lot of gravity going down, I'm sure, because you're both falling.
Down like
but
this.
like,
Rebel Moon proved this.
Rebel Moon proved this, so I'm feeling all that weight of like a spaceship on top of me.
How did the spaceships work? I don't care.
So for the first movie, I really didn't like it. I'm gonna have to give it a 1 out of 12.
Fair.
Yeah, the second one, I thought it was an improvement.
Improvement.
But not really, actually. Like, it's not that it was better, it had slightly less flaws.
That's true. It wasn't better. It had slightly less flaws.
I'm gonna give it a 0 out of 12, actually. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing because we want more of those.
If you look at our subscribers, you see it. We're very poor.
We're very
in that.
poor.
We're very poor.
We're very poor.
If you want us to like review something, we'll be more likely to listen to you if you bring more of your friends in.
And if you don't tell your friends about this channel, that just means you don't have friends.